Right, how's it going? We're back with another L video. It's been a while since we've been out here in the L studio. I've added a bit more to the background. You know, we have two more scarves. We got the boots up. Still figuring out what I'm going to put over there, but we will sort that out and I'll stop talking about that because that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the game that was played over the weekend between Brighton and Manchester United, which wasn't what we wanted. It wasn't a great game. It wasn't a game. Oh fuck me! Whoa! Can I not just have one video where I don't fucking speak like I belong in a home? It wasn't great. So we're gonna quickly have a look at the L lineups. I'm gonna show you Ten Hag's one. If you can see the game, this is what he ran with, and then we're gonna have a quick look at how I personally would have ran against Brighton, because they are a very hard team to beat when they're on form, which they normally are. Right, so over here you're going to have Ten Hag's lineup show up. So in goal, obviously we're going to have Onana. From right to left in defence wise, we're going to have Delo, Lindelof, Martinez and Reguilon. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I don't know, I've never had to pronounce his name because he was a Spurs player, so didn't really care. But midfield, then we had Casemiro lying as a deep kind of defensive midfielder. Our midfield pairing was then McTominay and Eriksen. Bruno is normal attacking mid, and we had a striking partner of Højlund and Rashford. Look, I thought it was an okay team. I don't see why Wan-Bissaka was dropped. He's been on form brilliantly. Maybe he's picked up an injury or not, I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it, so if you know, drop it down in the L comments. But as far as I'm aware, there wasn't anything wrong with him, so I don't know. So that was Ten Hag's lineup. We're now going to quickly have a look at my lineup, which is different formation and different players. So we would have had Onana in goal. Again, obviously we're not going to be going with anyone else really. And then I would have ran a normal back four when Varane is injured, which would have been Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Martinez and Delo. I would have played Casemiro as a slightly forward of the field, not massively, but kind of just slightly up a bit more, so it would have been more of a centre midfield. Then I would have had two attack midfielders being Bruno and Eriksen, and then on the right wing I would have had Pellistri, and left wing I would have had Garnacho, which some people might think is a bad call. But if I'm starting Højlund relies a lot on passes and crosses in, which fucking not many of our wingers do for some reason. I think it's we've just gotten used to having not great options as our strikers. You know, we had Weghorst last season, wasn't great. Martial is about as strong as a nature value are. He's always fucking injured, so maybe it's just we've gotten into a habit of doing that. But Rashford did it against Brighton, where he did so little to supply Højlund, but we'll talk a bit more about that later on in the video. But yeah, my front three would have been Pellistri, Garnacho and Højlund. As you can see, it's a lot more of an attacking kind of formation team, which I think is what we need against teams like Brighton, these very energetic teams that rely on the break over full play. I think if we're consistently attacking but having good players that can attack and both, and that will drop back. We've seen Garnacho drop back, we've seen Pellistri drop back, Bruno does it, Højlund does it, so that's 4 or 5 players that if we need them to drop back, have no problem dropping back. So I just think that would have been a better team. You know, front three Pellistri, Garnacho and Højlund, though I think they would have been devastating to Brighton. Then Bruno and Eriksen as that attacking midfield and pairing, I think would have been fucking beautiful. I think we definitely would have done better in that game had we ran that, which we'll never know because I'm not in charge of this. Ten Hag is. So anyway, before we get into the player performances, quickly, the score prediction I had for this game is I thought we'd lose to Brighton. I didn't think it'd be 3-1. I thought it was going to be 2-1. So I'm not massively far off the score. I just think we've been so flip-floppy out of our games. Like, out of the first 5 games we've had, we've lost 3. That's not a fucking brilliant record, and we need to be fucking doing better. We need to hit this different level. We're back to the same shit where we have a good season and then we massively drop off. Granted, there's been injuries to players like Mount, like fucking Amrabat's injured. His injury still isn't fully good, which has me a little bit worried. Malacia is injured, Shaw is injured, Varane is injured. That's 5 players that are pretty important to the way Ten Hag wants to run the team that aren't available. So I do think this whole season relies on who's fit and when players are injured, because we are going to continuously have injured players. It's always the way it is. Anyway, gonna quickly have a look at the player performances, and for me there was 5 players that stood out. So we're gonna go from furthest back on the field to forward players. For me, I think Onana is, to be honest, I didn't think he did awful. Some people might think he done shit considering we let 3 in, but he's still in shaky form. But we have to be real here. The team we have at the moment, we're not really used to the option of having a keeper to be able to play the ball, so we're still getting used to that. But just from what I've seen so far, it feels like we're kind of playing it back to him too often instead of playing it back to him when we have to, and there's no other options. Like if you're Martinez or you're Lindelof and you have fucking Maguire as a partner, then that's it. Pass it back to the keeper at the moment. But I think we're relying on him too much and playing it back to him too much, where we'll move forward, we'll pass back to Onana, and we'll drop back again. It's just, we're shooting ourselves in the foot, really. So I didn't think Onana did awful. I think he did okay. I think people are kind of giving him a bit of a hard time. He's still getting used to the team, and the team's still getting used to him. Casemiro, for me, just wasn't there. Now, I don't know whether he's just knackered from last season. He was so solid for us last season. And then, we had the international breaks. World Cup was last winter. So I don't know if all of that is affecting him. I don't know if he's kind of the way Rashford was in the Euros when Ollie was still in charge, where he played every game essentially and then had to go and play the Euros for England, and he just didn't seem on form because he was fucking running on fumes. So I don't know whether that's it or whether Casemiro is starting to get his age and all of that is starting to catch up to him. But I don't think it is. I do just think he's running on fumes at this stage, which is another reason the Amrabat injuries freaking me out a bit, because we have without one of the best defensive midfielders on the planet, and he's just not on form. So the quicker Amrabat is ready and fit to play, the better. He gets used to the team. Casemiro gets to take a break. McTominay as well, he was another player that stood out to me. He should have gone to West Ham. Look, he seems like a lovely bloke. From what I hear and what has come out of the club, he's a lovely bloke. But he's not United level. We see for Scotland he plays better, but he's played in an attacking role. But let's be real here, he's not better than Bruno, he's not better than Mount. Fuck, he's not even better than Eriksen going forward. Then you have the likes of all of our wingers and all of our forwards. He's not getting anywhere near the front line unless fucking Højlund breaks his knee, which I can't see. We sell Martial, which isn't going to happen, and we have no other, unless we're going to allow him to play bit forward upfield. There's no fucking point of him being here because he's not good enough defensively, and he should have just taken the West Ham move. But I think the West Ham move broke down because United. I don't think it was anything to do with McTominay himself. I think it was United wanted more than 30 million, which for me personally, I think that's a very well priced deal. Like I think that's a very fair deal. One of the only players that stood out positively to me was Mabry. Obviously he scored our only goal, and for me was without a doubt our best midfielder on the pitch for the game. I like the way Ten Hag is giving our younger players more options. Mainu, who I would have loved to see, but obviously he's injured, so it's gonna be a while. Now I think he's kind of sleeping on Palestri. Palestri can give more to the team. I think he needs more of a shot. Garnacho, Hoyland we brought in, he's not an academy player, but he is still a young player. Bangor, who else? Ahmad, he's like, there's so many young players that are getting a chance under Ten Hag, which I like. And as he said in many interviews now, he will only give you a game if he thinks you're better than what he already has in the senior team. So it's good signs. Personally, think maybe Mabry could have done a loan, but if he sent him out on loan, he wasn't going to save us from that, and he probably would have ended up being a 3-0 loss to Brighton. So fair play to him, he did fucking brilliant. Now the last player I want to touch on is Rashford. Obviously, you know, I wouldn't have added him into the starting lineup if it was me. And look, he needs to be subbed off. Look, I get Ten Hag likes him, which is obvious. You know, I don't think he's taken him off or subbed him off. And if he has, it's very rarely. He uses him almost every game if he's fit. Which again, fair, he's a brilliant fucking player. But when he's playing the way he did against Brighton, he needs to be subbed. For the better of the team, he needs to be subbed. I get you can score goals in fucking 9 minutes of a game, but when we are 3-0 down, or fucking 3-1 down, or however many we fucking were, but no, we would have been, fucking 2-0. It would have been 2-0 at this stage, but the fact he took Hoyland off in the 60-something minute and yet left Rashford, who did fucking nothing really, let's be real. There'll probably be people saying I'm talking bollocks, but I'm not. Rashford has gotten too into the habit of making the runs himself, which is fine. Right, the odd run is fine, but you're a fucking winger. We have a young attacking player that relies so heavily on the passes and the crosses. Fucking feed on them. That's what you do. It's not like you're shit. It's not like he's a shit passer or he's shit at crossing. He's pretty decent at it. So fucking do it. He's turning into Anthony. He's like Anthony. Obviously, he can do more than Anthony can, but he's starting to get into that habit of not passing, just going himself, which is what my biggest problem with Anthony is, as well as the fact he can't do anything with his right foot. But how? Right? Honestly, like, just fucking pass the ball. Pass it. Fucking 2-0 down to Brighton. We're getting low on minutes. Just ping a cross in. Ping a pass in. Feed him. But no, Rashford continuously wants to go himself, which is my biggest. He's starting to annoy me now a bit with this. So, Rashford really, he just shut him in sub off. He was doing nothing. And that's not me saying sell Rashford. I'm just saying he needs to pass more. That's all. When he starts passing more, you're fucking flying. Because if he starts passing and you get the likes of Palestri and Garnacho playing more, and they can pass, you're feeding in passes and crosses from the left and the right. And Hoyland, we've seen with even the one that was disallowed, he fucking goes. He goes for it. So play him in. Play him in, and he'll likely score at some point. Like, it just fucking bugged me so much. Right, so that's the end of this video. Really quickly, we have an Instagram, there's a website, Supporting the Instagram would be much appreciated, and supporting the website would be much appreciated. I'm going to stop taking up so much of your time. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll talk to you in the next one.